What is up, everybody? WannabeRacer back here in the garage. The nice freezing garage. Man, I wish this thing was insulated. One thing I've been wanting to do to the car for a long time is I've wanted to take out these door panels. They're a nuisance to me. Now I have the official NASA 2021 time trial rules. Now the rules really haven't changed much from last year, but in these rules, the official rules, it says just right here, it says something about... Who cares what the rules say? It says something about not being able to take out my door panels unless I have the glass windows removed. And I think that's a safety thing. Say, for example, I got hit in the side or I crashed or something like that. Glass flies everywhere, goes in your face. That's a problem. So, now that I have a trailer, that's no longer an issue because the windows are going to come out because I'm no longer driving this to and from the track. And I no longer need to keep the rain out when I'm driving, you know, the hour drive it is from here to the track because I have that beautiful trailer. No one reads rules anyway, they're just more boring instruction manuals. Now I feel like I have to explain this a little bit because I have looked at my analytics and it says that 90% of you guys are not subscribed. So that means 90% of you guys have no idea why I'm taking out my door panel altogether. I am not upgrading the speakers in this car. If you wanted to do so, this will show you exactly how to do it. But I race this car and I have no intention to street it again. Once I pull this panel off, it should be off for the rest of the car's life because this is just a track car to me. I race it, I compete with it. And that is why I'm doing this. So I'm going to be pulling the door panel off as well as doing a bunch of other things to this car and have already done a bunch of things to this car in the name of weight savings. This is just one of them. So we're going to go ahead and start the way I always start with the door panel. I always, for some reason, don't know why, just start with this guy. Now, some cars need this removed, some cars don't. This is one of the cars that does. Previous owner glued it in. Okay, so I don't really feel like I explained this section very well while I was doing it. Someone had glued my panel onto the car in a previous install or whatever. They broke it and they glued it back in. So I initially had pulled at it, which broke it because of the glue. And then I pulled at it some more where I shouldn't have pulled at it because I thought it was still just glued on there, which broke it a little bit more. So you can see here it's broken. But to explain what it was supposed to happen is the top is supposed to be clipped in, not glued in, but clipped in. You just pop that off and then it will ride up the rail and you just pull the whole thing up and that's how you take it out. I can always replace that. They're relatively cheap if I ever wanted to. Who am I kidding? I'm never putting that back in this car. Now that we've done the ceremonious breaking of the parts, it's time to get into the door panel. Now this is pretty simplistic. Almost every door panel is going to be simplistic that you're going to take out of a car. I think this one's actually a little bit more complex. By that I mean that they hide things a little bit better. So along here you're going to see there's an airbag tab right there. Under there is going to be a T20 Torx. This is super common. Inside of here there's a little plastic cover, another T20 Torx. And then this is super common. Along the bottom row here there's going to be 3 T20 Torx screws that you don't have to remove anything to get to them. You're just going to have a Torx bit to get in there. We're doing the passenger door because the driver door is in bad lighting compared to this door because my garage is not really made for filming in. That being said, the only difference between the driver's door and the passenger door is here we have a blank panel on the driver's side. That is the window switch. Not the window switch, the mirror switch. Power mirrors for adjusting the power mirrors. That will need to be unplugged where it doesn't need to be unplugged here. Once the door panel is off of the frame, it'll be easy to get behind there, pop it out, and unplug it. Now the airbag thing is a just little tiny piece of plastic that can be popped out pretty easily if you have something metal, plastic, like a screwdriver. I don't use screwdrivers, I have this handy dandy little skin wedge here. And you just want to find that spot where it wants to pop out. This is just the back of it. As you can see, it's just a little bit of a clip, plastic clip pulls out. Oh! Pleasant surprise with my car, but let me see if I can get that out. You'll get some pleasant surprises like this. It looks like I already have one screw removed that was never put back in. You'll find little surprises like that. Now as you can see behind the door handle there's this handy dandy little ring right here. And that is what hides the other screw. It's just a little plastic cover. And I've got this handy dandy little pick tool which should just pop behind it. And there you have it. So there's your other T20 Torx. Now with all the screws removed, you just take them out. This is too short. That's another one that's not there. Okay, I've got three screws in this door. already with all 3 of the screws that were in my door panel that were supposed to be there finally removed. It's time to pull off the actual door panel itself. And there's clips that run all the way around this thing from the edge to the edge, including on the top, but we won't address those first. We're not trying to remove those clips yet. There's a special way to do that. With the ones down here, you can use a plastic pry tool. I've still got my handy dandy skin wedge. You just want to come under here. And I come at an angle like this sometimes if I can, because then it forces the panel to pop up. And we're just trying to get 1 clip out to start with. 1 clip, that's all we need. Beautiful. Okay, so with 1 clip out, that gives me enough room. I've got gloves on now because it's freezing in here, by the way. But with that, it gives us enough room. Fingers under there. And with the fingers under there, now you don't want to be too forceful. You just kind of want to pull at it. And you just want to kind of give it a little bit of a shake to feel the clips. I feel like this whole side right here is finally removed. The whole bottom's removed. There's one over there in that divot that's not, though. I can feel it. And there we go. So all of the clips are now removed on this, except for the top row. Now the unfortunate bit is most door panels that I remove, typically they just raise off of a ridge that's in here and they're just kind of grooved in there. On these E46s, they're not, they're clipped, which makes things inconvenient because part of the benefit of lifting it from a groove is this is physically connected to this. If I have to pull it out, that makes a problem. So we start here, you want to lock that door, and then we're going to kind of want to come up on this. So this one you want to raise, you don't really want to raise too much, but you want to raise it enough to get over that, clear it, but also pull out at the same time. Okay. That won't typically happen. Usually they won't give out so easily. You can see there's all these clips here and they go into little slots in here that hold it into place. Typically you'll get one out, but I think it's because it's so cold in here for me, they just kind of all came off at the same time. Now to start things off in here, there are some connectors to disconnect. This right here is your tweeter, which you're gonna have on the door, top of the door. You'll also have to remove the speaker at the bottom, but we'll do that in a second. First thing we wanna do after removing the tweeter, because you don't want to hang it on wires, this is your door latch right here, and I don't know how well you can see it, but there's a little white tab back in the back there. And you kind of just want to pull the white tab. That's your little white tab right there, and it goes into there. So that will take out your whole door latch assembly. Well, at least the door latch attachment. And then we hop over to the speakers, and there is it's just a little black clip on both sides of the speaker wire. Boom. And there you go. Door panel off. Now, if you had been removing the door panel for the intention of replacing the speakers and not just removing the door panel, you would have 3 screws, one there, one down there that you can't really see because it's all black and dark and shaded, and then another one that's also in the dark, all shaded right there. And that pops out this whole bracket here, and then you would replace the speakers. And then the same with the tweeter. Those are all Phillips heads, by the way. The tweeter is actually a little bit different. It's going to be Torx bit, but you've got 3 of those around it. And then the tweeter will pop out as well, but that would be what you'd do. Now with the door panel removed, we're gonna go ahead and get the vapor barrier out. In order to do that, there's an airbag in the doors. Both doors have an airbag in them. I've already disconnected the battery, which you should be doing if you're gonna be pulling airbags, so I'm gonna be pulling that out of the car. And then this little module right here, that's for your controlling your power mirrors. That just needs to get pulled off so that we can pull off the vapor barrier. We're gonna go ahead and start by getting this guy off because it's a T20 Torx, and my screwdriver's already set up for that. Alright then, well the airbag's pretty simplistic. It just so happens to be 3 10mm bolts. 3 10mm bolts. All the way around. This is not the right tool to use. Alrighty, so taking a look at it, I do believe, because I've actually not removed this before, I do believe it is a clip that lifts up in the back. Yep. The whole thing should lift off now, upward. Yep, there you go. And that is the airbag out of the door. So here we are. Vapor barrier is all that's left. Now I hate removing these things. It's possible that this will rip. You gotta be careful not to rip it. I'm gonna try not to rip it, but I don't really care about it because it's not going back in the car. One thing that is worth noting is that your speaker cable, this one down here, runs under a piece of foam right here, basically attaching it to the vapor barrier. Other than that, there's nothing else attached to the vapor barrier, so it's just going to be pull it around the edges. So there we have it. Airbag module, door panel, vapor barrier, all out of the car. That's a lot of unnecessary weight that I don't need in here anymore. In a different video, we're going to take out the window and window regulator, just because that's unnecessary weight I no longer need in this car. So we're going to get that pulled out in a different video. I feel like it deserves its own video. It's enough work as it is. I'm going to go ahead and do the other door off camera because, like I said, it's in a bad spot for filming and lighting and everything. And I'll throw up the weight right over there somewhere in that corner. There. Yeah, look over there somewhere. And if you guys ended up liking the video, maybe consider subscribing, because like I said, 90% of you guys are not subscribed, and I do a lot of these car related videos, mostly with my M3 here, but I have some other cars that we're going to be working on. I also do racing and hopefully some sim racing here in the future as well. I have a rig built, I just haven't done a lot in the rig yet. Anyway guys, I think that just about does it for this video. I'm going to end it here and get the rest of it done so that I can go ahead and get back inside the nice warm house. And I'll see you guys in the next video.